to see you, man.
But
Good
morning. Good morning.
Morning. Oh, strange. It started now. Took a little bit of time. Yes, please go ahead, Amazon.
Yeah. So, what would be the approach with these? I mean, is it to have the location, and I'm guessing the land registry title number,
Mm-hmm.
And then the units. That's how many units.
Which sheet are we talking about, sir? Are we talking about the block leads? Block leads?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at the block leads one. There are precisely 11 leads there. You have the postcodes there, full addresses in there, title numbers. You don't need all of that, but what you need is the units, right? If you look at the status of these, it says pending, pending, and then it says granted. One of them is granted, rest are pending, right?
Yes.
That's a very good starting point to approach someone and say, what is your plan when you build these, right? Now, imagine if it is a November 24 submission date with a 220 units pending. This is not going to, this is not going to build in the next 2 years at least, okay? 60 units, maybe another 12 months, 18 months, 50 units again. Now, if you look at the 16 one granted, which was in August,
yeah,
this guy will be ready with you in 6 months' time, probably built.
Okay.
These days, the build time is 6 months in most cases. Yeah. So this guy, I would say, would have already started. If not, even if he starts next year, he'll be done in 6 months. Best time to approach the guy and say, are you looking to sell? It's a bad market to sell. Or are you looking to hold? And if you're looking to hold, would you like us to help you manage it? Most people who develop do not want to manage. It's very, very simple. Their business model does not support them to go and manage properties. Does that make sense? Okay?
Yeah.
They may or may not. It's not like there's a definite yes, but they may not. But this is the best time to approach someone like that. Another one, which is the one from the bottom, which is in October, 149 pending, too far. That's too far. They're going to take another 24 months to build. Another one in October, 9 pending. I would approach these guys because if this was submitted in October, they might have got the decision. Because, I mean, imagine if we generated these, a week ago. Now we don't know the just give me one sec. We don't know if it's been approved or not. Okay?
Yeah.
Because we're not checking it every day, right? So yeah. I'm going to now go back to my colleague and say, you want to bring leads here which are 2023, because they are ready to be monetized or approached to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in here, I can see about 3 or 4 that you can approach. The rest are too big at the moment. They're going to take time to build. 220, 60, 40, 20, they're all too big. 9 submitted in November 24. Yes, approach them. Again, 220 in November, too early. 9 in November, approach. 41 in October, approach. 9 in October, approach. 149 in October 24, too early. And then 16 in August, ready. And then I can tell her to go a bit further. So when she goes more like January to up until August of 24, and then maybe 6 months into the 24, those are the deals that will be ready for you to really start monetizing. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, yes. But now, so what would be the approach? Because I mean, I have the address there. So I mean, if I go there, I mean, it's what to look.
Just walk in, go inside. In fact, just give me one sec. So these are just go in. There will be a worker there. Ask for the number of the developer. Go from that point. Very, very simple. Keep it super, super simple. You go, you approach, you may not find the developer there. You ask someone if they have the number, you take the number, you call them. If you absolutely find no one, you leave a postcard. Like this
Yeah,
size
yeah.
postcard. Yeah, the colored ones.
Yeah, I got some already, so
Yeah, £5, £10 on Amazon. Leave them. Look, let me share with you something very interesting, okay? I used to run a chauffeur company, okay? I did that from 2003 to 2014, okay?
yeah.
Our budget was standard budget was £1,000 a month, okay? And that's cards, leaflets, all over the place, right? And what it does is that the first 3 to 6 months, you don't see as much results. But once you do that consistently over 6 months, 6 months and longer, and you do that consistently, then you start to get calls. And now it's time to close those. That's what the game is. I mean, even right now, I was just looking at, we were meant to submit our accounts of one of the companies. I was looking at the marketing budget. 70% of the revenue that's been generated has gone into marketing. Okay, so it's all about, but luckily in this game, the good part is that once you close one deal, you could spend a couple of £1,000 on marketing. You're gonna make 1,000 times over. So yeah, it's a game of numbers. My understanding is you should close anywhere between 1 to 3%.
All right. And then here on my sheet, it looks like there's a duplicate. The 220 units showing up 3 times.
I will check. I will check that. I am not too sure if it's duplicate. I can double check. In fact, let me just open and check the title numbers.
Because the title numbers are the same.
It is true,
it's the
because
same. So there are 3
Nimbus
duplicates. There are 3 duplicates. I can see that. They're 893, 893, and 893. So I will get that removed. Don't worry.
Nimbus, when creates a list, then sometimes gets several of them.
I can see that. So it's a technical thing, and you just need to convey to my team members saying, look, if it's a duplicate which you can see, just remove it. Again, technical error shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Do you want to have a look at your next sheet, Amasa?
Yeah, the hotel leads.
Yeah, so if you look at that, here is a tricky balance, okay? If you look at the room numbers, right? 55, 155, 67, 90, 50, 44, 144. Now, until the number 100, I'm very comfortable walking in. I can just walk in, talk to the guy. When it goes over 100 rooms, it's a lead that may or may not monetize. Because if it is 100 rooms, the guy can be tired and still hire not 1 but 2 managers. So one can manage and the other one can manage the second person. Okay. So, but don't hesitate, because there are still people out there who would be so tired that they literally don't want to speak with anyone. Go to Monaco, retire and not speak with anyone and just get the money in account. Okay. So those people will still talk to you and say, look, if you can manage, great. If you manage the whole thing, all I want to see is money in my account. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about like with the approach for the hotels, because I mean the number there I'm assuming is for the hotel.
Yes.
But then it's just to get across to the owner, and
yes,
just to try and get across the gatekeeper, because if I say I'm a property manager, they might be thinking, oh, they're going to want to take over the hotel and throw me out.
No, simple. I actually, let me share with you an anecdote, right? I went to a meeting with a hotelier in Acton. I think it was a couple of years ago. A lead came through one of the inner circle members. I went in. I sat down, and his first response was not how can I help you, anything. I said, look, this is who I am. This is who sent me. What are you looking to do with your property, right? And he said, well, I want to rent it out. Fine. Because I was familiar with the numbers, I said, how much are you looking for it? And how long do you want to lease it for? He immediately turned up and said, I'm not leasing it, I'm renting it. Fine. And I said, well, how long do you want to rent it for? On monthly basis. I said, well, that means that I can walk in and you can kick me out the next day. He said, yeah, fuck yeah. And I just got up and said, thank you for your time, sir, not for me. I'm not going to go in there, set up a damn hotel, and have someone kick me out the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you do come across people like that. And the girl who brought that lead, I turned up to her and said, look, you're not going to be able to deal with this person. First, he's a rude guy. Second is that he just has this mentality of manage the hotel for me and I can come in and kick you out the next moment. That's not, no one is going to take that hotel. Okay.
Yeah.
But you'll come across people like that all the time, right? This is an Indian guy in his late 60s, he was, and I could tell he was tired. And it's a matter of time that the guy is going to have to change his attitude if he wants to rent or lease his hotel, right? Because no one is going to turn up and say, oh, well, I'll take your hotel and assign no agreement and do nothing. Okay. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I said, hospitality business is one of those where majority gets stuck in the operations and eventually they get tired. And that's where the opportunity is. And our job is not to structure it in that way. Our job is to get a manager in place. That's it. Oversee how it works. I will show you all the tools you need. Set up very, very simple. You set it up on like 4 different channels and you're good to go and you can see leads coming in and you can monetize it really, really well. Okay. It's super, super simple.
Okay, so just to go there and just try and get across to the owner.
Oh, remember, you're not negotiating at the first instance. Your job is to just get to know the person, ask open questions, ask about, how long have you been running this? Well, that gives you an indication to if he's tired or not, or she's tired or not. Okay. What is your plan for the next 5 years? Questions like that will get them to open up. And remember, please do not talk numbers from day one. You do not have the spreadsheet to be able to talk numbers. If they still ask you, oh, you know what? I want to give my hotel and I just want to get away. I'm tired. Okay. I will come back to you tomorrow. Do not give an answer to that. You give an answer to that, you've just lost the lead. Because the likely is that answer is going to be wrong. Okay. It has to be reverse engineered. I can do a reverse engineer appraisal on a hotel in 10 minutes. It's not a development deal, right? Development deal can take for a very, very long time, while a block or a hotel takes no more than 5 to 20 minutes as a max. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Any other questions, sir?
No, I think that's clear. So the first thing is to go and try and visit the place. If no luck there, then try the number. But I'm assuming the number is for the hotel itself. So
it's likely the landlines, yes.
Yeah. All right. Yes, it's clear. I mean, this is the first lead that I have there, the Charles Hope. I mean, I know that they do serviced accommodation. They have a few. They have in Hounslow. They have in Brentford. They have a few. I think they have several locations across country. I'm not quite
What's
sure.
The name? What's
Charles
the name?
Hope. The
Charles
first one,
Hope?
Charles Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know they have a few flats in Hounslow, but I'm not quite sure if they do a hotel as such, or if they're renting out the flats and then doing serviced accommodation. But
So the business model between a block and a hotel is very slightly different. Okay.
Yeah.
In a hotel, you have to have a manager living in.
Okay.
While in a block, you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
And the online mechanics are about 95% same. Okay. You just very tiny differences that you need to be aware of, which again, I'll show you as we go along. Okay. And they can be, like I said, they can be managed from anywhere in the world with a laptop and phone. Okay. When you get to the point of overwhelming emails and messages and calls, most of them pass on to the managers. But in the worst case scenario, you just hire a virtual, hire a couple of virtual assistants. But they will be paid by the hotel. All of this, I do that all day long anyway, so I can show you all of that.
Okay. So that's all clear on the hotel. Should we move on to the development leads?
Yes, and here is a question. Here is something I wanna share with everyone. Okay. What might happen occasionally, like once a year or once in 2 years or once in 3 years, that way you will come across a company that probably manages multiple of these units. Now, when I say multiple units, they could be managing 300 hotel rooms. They could be managing, 500 units of blocks or whatever. You'll come across companies like that and make sure that you build a good relationship with them for multiple reasons. But here is the main reason. When those guys get tired running a business like that, they would want to connect with someone who might take their business on. Okay. So imagine if you, let's say, build a portfolio like that of, let's say, 300 units, and you look back 15 years later, you've made your money. Okay. But now you're tired. Okay. You just don't want to do this anymore. Even though the operations are getting managed by someone else, you still, just the overseeing part, sometimes when you're doing 300-400 units, that's still not easy. Okay. So you may get to that point where you want to sell, and you will come across people like that as you go along in the journey. So keep an eye on them. So because imagine us trying to acquire, hypothetically 500 units, and all of a sudden you come across a person who says, I already manage 500 units. How about you take over from me? Yeah, that's a good deal. Okay. And in most cases, you'd be able to negotiate a good deal because you're in that position, coming up with the knowledge, and that gives you a good, strong negotiation power. Jumping on to the development deal. Any other questions?
No, from my side, all clear.
Development deals, yeah. So I have actually, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, because go ahead, because I'm just looking at it now.
So I asked my colleague to add the classes, right? Which means when you look at number C, it says commercial to resi, low value commercial properties in residential areas. So it just gives you the class as well. That's always helpful. It gives you potential purchase price. Remember, these are not accurate numbers. They are created by an algorithm. So they have to be checked thoroughly, but for time being, they can be used to get started. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you look at the first one, it says 70% profits. The second one, 37, 40, 43, 110. So most of these are very good potential profit margins. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. GDV 1.6, 1.4, 2.2. Yeah. Some boxes are missing. That's because the algorithm doesn't give you an answer all the time. Allowance for profit, 51, 48, 52 return on cost rather than return on GDV. 101 return on cost. Yeah, these are good leads, Ahmed sir. Yeah, these are good leads. In fact, when you look at your spreadsheet, it has already got a potential phase 1 due diligence done. Okay, and then obviously when you go through phase 2 due diligence, phase 3 due diligence, that we have to come up with more accurate numbers, which we can do. I will show that to you how to come up with more accurate numbers.
Okay. So again, the approach of these is just to get to the owner and
That's
just
it.
see what they're interested in doing, and then try to schedule another meeting to discuss the.
That's right. That is right. Yeah. Okay. Here is an interesting bit which you will see in the sheets as you go along. Okay. There are two sorts of deals which are very, very interesting. One is called the PD, so permitted development. And the second is they call strategic schemes. Okay. With PD, you would be walking into a deal where you already know you don't even need planning permission. What you do still need is still apply to the council. It's not called planning. It's just you speaking with the council. They will say, okay, this is how you need to apply, and just making sure that it's not a class 2 listed building, or you know, and what are the things that you need to be aware of when you're making changes to that building, or you know, stuff like that. Okay, like can you change the windows? Can you change the external look, internal walls? You know, stuff like that. Most of the architects will be able to tell you that you can do most of that. Okay, but sometimes you have to be aware of certain things. So you do need to sometimes speak with. In fact, instead of speaking with the council, you just speak with the local planner, and he will say, do you even need to speak with the council or not? Depending on the size of the deal. If it's a larger deal, yes. If it's a smaller deal, may not be a need. So you're walking into a deal where you already know you can just build, okay, or convert. While on the strategic schemes, here is the interesting thing that some of you may not know, okay? There are certain deals where, because of the changes in policies, they automatically have rights of conversion. They automatically have rights to build, even on a piece of land, right? You can just walk in, and because it has come under the strategic schemes, you may already have the right to build. But the landlord may not even know. And you do not want to convey that to the landlord, that it is under strategic schemes and that you practically have the right to build. If you convey that, they don't need you anymore. Just that small part, okay? Because then they can go and speak with the local architect and say, well, I already have the permission. All I have to do is just apply. Okay, so do not convey that. But you will see that on your sheets as a part of the strategic schemes under. Okay? You will slowly start to see that. Not every deal is like that. Okay? Because what the council does is, okay, they would look at how many houses they need to build, or flats they need to build, and then they will take sometimes some large pieces of land from their boundary and add it to what they call the strategic, under the strategic scheme. So it could be even a green belt, it could be a gray belt, and the landlord may not even know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, Ahmed sir?
No, there's quite a lot of info there on the development leads. So
I will be hitting ground as well. So I'm coming in January. I'll be probably there a couple of months, and then I'm back here and back in June again. And then from basically from June onwards, I'll be hitting the ground on this as well. Okay. At the moment, we're in the middle of closing a deal of 14 flats. So I just want to make sure that that gets done.
Cool.
So yes, so I'll be able to join you when you go for these rounds.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So we'll do that, you know, different locations, you know, different months, different weeks. We'll plan accordingly.
Good.
And I will take you a lot more deeper into reverse engineer appraisals. That is key. Like, that's a skill and a half, okay? You need to go through almost over 100 steps of due diligence for development deals, okay? But once you learn that, like, you would be able to look at any deal and say, is this going to work or not, okay? And quite a lot of those steps can be checked on Nimbus Maps or Land Insight. And a lot of those you need to have knowledge, like intimate knowledge of what it's about. Okay, but I'll take you through those steps over the next coming months. Damir, go ahead.
Excuse me, because I have to leave early a bit. I have.
Anara, go ahead. No
thank you.
I just wanted one question before
okay.
Anara. Sorry to just.
Yes, okay.
I heard this when you said that you can get what you said, renting and leasing.
Yes.
And I didn't quite get that. Could you please repeat that again? Thanks.
Two different things altogether. If let's say someone has a hotel of 50 rooms, okay, they can turn up to you and say, I'm only going to rent it to you, or I'm going to lease it to you. Now, lease comes in different forms, right? So you have a lease that's under 7 years. That's called an unregistered lease. If it is over 7 years, it actually gets registered on the title.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And when it comes to lease, they can turn up and ask you for a lot of money. Okay. They can, I mean, if it's a 50-bed hotel, they can turn up and ask you for £250,000 just in lease money. Depending on the location. If it's London, they can even ask you more. Okay. So, but if they're just renting out to you, then normally it's an agreement of 12 months, let's say. Anything less than 12 months, I won't even worry, because you still need time to go in and set up and making sure that everything is in place. If it's less than 12 months, it's just a waste of time. But they can just practically rent you like someone rents you a house. Okay, you rent it out, you use it for 12 months, and then you give it back. Okay, simple.
So what's the best?
It's not about what's best for us. It's what is it that the landlord wants.
No, but that's fine. That will decide the end result. But when we have idea, you know, I mean, just what would we want to go into, something longer term or like short term?
I would say go with an open mind. I don't think it's about what you want. Landlord would have, in most cases, a hotelier would have very good clarity on how he wants to structure the deal. Okay. Listen, when I own a hotel, freehold, no one is going to come and tell me how I'm going to structure my agreement.
Yeah, that's right.
I will decide that. So go with an open mind and say, what is it that you want? Okay, but yes, you still need to be flexible but firm at the same time to negotiate the deal. I'll help you with that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead, Anara.
Oh, hello, Jack. Yes, thank you. I got the list of block of 10, more than 10 units, and I double checked my council Elmbridge, and I saw there is a need to apply for planning permission if you do Airbnb, and I couldn't find any information, and I sent them email. What requirements do you have for opening Airbnb? Because all this block of flats, more than 10 units, we wanted to do Airbnb, and now some councils started to ask permission, planning application for Airbnb. Yes, and I'm dealing with council and see what they answer, because it wasn't any information on website. It was just, if you want to use your property as Airbnb, you have to apply for planning.
So what is your question? What is your question?
Yes, I'm telling about, I have this list of block of flats, more than 100. And before I need to know exactly what are requirements of council for doing Airbnb, because there is no information. I ask over email. It means like block of flats.
But who are you asking over email?
I have, there are several emails, planning department.
Yeah, but why are you asking? Now, let me just slow you down, Anara.
Okay.
If you've not negotiated a deal, if you've not made contact, why are you asking about someone else's property?
No. I'm asking theoretically. I told it's not connected to any property. Theoretically, in my council, we have to have permission for Airbnb planning application.
I understand that. No.
Yes.
Nara, I understand that. I understand that. Okay. Yes, there are councils who control all of this. There are other councils, they will only give you planning permission to build something if it's not going to get used as a holiday let. Okay. So it's a part of the condition on the planning sometimes. Other times, it's actually the council's policy to say, we are not going to give any more Airbnb, or maybe there's a quota. And that's it. So yes, you need to be aware of all of that. My point is, why are you emailing anyone unless you've looked into the deal in the first place? Like when I said looked into,
I want
contact with the landlord.
And I want to know requirements of council before I speak to any owner, because knowing requirements of council.
Go and check the local council's website.
There is information only. Airbnb need to have planning permission, and there is no requirements, anything. And I ask them to give me more information about this. I read this information, and then I will know which development is more suitable to go ahead, because it could be like job, how we say in Russian, it's like monkey's work.
Yes. So all you gotta do is get in touch with your local council.
Yes, I've done it.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah, and then I will go through list and see the parameters and see which developments.
Yeah. Listen, they are controlling everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Even to let a property as a buy to let, as in 6 months AST rental based, you still have to apply for a certificate from the council these days. Okay. So, for example, I have a couple of buy to let properties, right? I had to apply to the council, get a 5-year certificate. So every time you do something, you have to check local council's website and say, what's the rule regarding that? So that's pretty obvious.
Okay. Yes,
that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. And secondly, I'm awaiting list of hotels. Nisha told me she will generate me. But I found a few hotels, and one hotel I really wanted to discuss with you. Can you give me like 15 minutes now, or maybe one-to-one?
What do you have to be specific about what do you want to ask me?
I want to ask you, I couldn't find who is the owner. I checked company house, how to find who is the owner.
Okay, so
I
go
saw
on
a
the
director in company house, but it
go
is
on the council's
managing
web.
company.
Yeah.
It
So
is
go-
managing company. I'm listening.
So go on the hotel's website.
Uh-huh.
It must say as a part of what they call the Information Commissioner's Office policy that it needs to say which is the limited company behind this. Unless it's a part of a conglomerate and company behind a company and company behind a company, and they're trying to hide the name of the person behind it, there's a possibility of that. Otherwise, most hotels will say the limited company somewhere on their website, sometimes in terms and conditions, other
Yes.
times in contact, they should say the name of the limited company.
Yes,
Remember-
because
Remember, when they take out their liability insurance, that liability insurance goes on the limited company name. And as a part of running a hotel, when you walk in, they have to display the limited company certificate liability insurance.
certificate.
So you can walk in, look left, right, somewhere, and you'll see a limited company liability insurance certificate. And that's a good starting point because you can take that, check company's house.
Yes, okay. Because I check company house, there are several companies who connects to this hotel. Several companies, and I have names, I have addresses, and question number 3. Please, can you give me? Because the companies are big, I can see. Can you give me the letter how to write to
How
owners?
many room is this hotel?
They even didn't say on website, but I can say it's more than 100 rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So all you're asking is the letter for size of that hotel. A letter is not going to do anything.
No. Letter from you, how to write to the owner, because I will find out. Thank you. I will find out who is the owner.
That's what I'm saying, Anara. If it's a hotel that's, 30, 40, 50 rooms, that's okay. Once you reach 100 mark, a letter is not going to do the job.
Okay.
You need to visit. I shared earlier as well that once you reach over 100-room hotel, you're playing a different game altogether. Okay? You may not even monetize that lead easily, or may not monetize at all, because they can have managers over managers over managers. Okay?
They have directors, 3 directors, management 3.
Exactly. So if it's over 100 rooms, it's literally you walking in and speaking face to face and saying, are you looking to, eventually have
To
someone
leave.
else manage your hotel?
Because I know this hotel, I pass quite often this hotel, and I can say it's not full, not 100% full. I think it was problems with management. That's why they got new management company this year, last summertime. It means
just approach them. Just approach them.
Okay. And I will contact you if okay.
Of course you can.
Yeah, number 1, I have to find out.
The best way to do things like that is put it on your spreadsheet. I check these sheets regularly. Okay. So if I see notes on your sheet saying I approached this and we need to take this next step, if you send me a quick message and say, can you check my sheet? I will have a quick glance and then we can take it from there.
Do you mean spreadsheet which we...
Yes. You need to make notes.
Okay.
Anara, you need to make notes on every time you approach a deal and say what actually happened.
Okay, but this hotel is not on the list because
Just add it.
I don't. Okay, I don't have a list for hotels yet. Okay, and I don't have list for development. That would be great because in parallel you have to see everything. If you see development, you can check also. That would be great. And
but Anara, you only agreed so we only started on your sheet on Monday.
Yes. Okay.
So we only
good,
had about
good.
3 to 4 days.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. Yeah, because okay, with this hotel I will do, and yeah, I contacted Nisha, and she told like we just only started, and yeah, she is going to expand. Yeah,
Okay.
and she told she has some questions about territory. I told, ask me anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, everything is good. I will carry on with this hotel and try to do other stuff. Okay, good. Thank you.
Damir, yes.
Sorry, yeah, with regards to putting in any comments on the spreadsheets, is there any particular place that you recommend that we
put it in the last row, and just say notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I'll be checking.
final row.
I'll be checking these sheets regularly. And if you write there, for example, approach the landlord, seems interested, expect a message from me.
Okay.
Remember, do not talk numbers, do not talk due diligence, unless you put it on a spreadsheet and say, this is what the numbers look like. Okay. Most people struggle with property because they don't understand numbers. And those who do well are the only ones who understand numbers really, really, really well. And I can assure you, with a lot of humility, I understand numbers well. Okay. So please do not talk numbers unless you have a very good appraisal in place. And then just go from there. When we put numbers on a sheet, if you're good with negotiations, you may not even need me. Okay.
We need your money. We need your money.
You can take a spreadsheet, reverse engineer appraisal, and that becomes all your tools that you need to negotiate a deal. Okay. Do not ever hand out your appraisal to the landlord. Once you do, or if ever you do, you've just lost the deal because you've given them everything that you know. Okay. This is a game of numbers and appraisals. Knowledge. You give them and you've lost the deal. They don't need you after that. Okay. Damir, any questions? Don't see him.
No questions, sorry. I just wrote on a message that I will have to go. I will be online until I have line. Okay. I did go through the list. I noticed some hotels are in the central London, but that's okay. Doesn't matter.
Once I start going through the sheets a bit more, if I see that's unrelated to your location, I will deal with it.
And it's all right. I can find them. I also found some other projects also in different postcodes. It doesn't matter. This one hotel, I think it was a brand hotel, but I think spoke about that the brand hotels we just skip. Don't do them for now. Maybe later on we can jump in and then see how their management works. And yeah, basically that's it. Just what I asked, if Nisha can leave the planning part for the blocks in the sheet.
You mean the planning portal link?
Yeah, exactly. Because usually when you create the map, the sheet from Nimbus, it gives you all these documents, all these links.
Convey to Nisha. Convey to Nisha, but here is something I know. There are lots of errors that we are facing with Nimbus maps. So there are times when we may look at a deal and it just doesn't show you anything. Like there's no right pop-ups, left pop-ups, nothing comes along. Other times they would download a list. In fact, I looked at one of the lists she downloaded. The planning portal link were all like the links were not working at all.
Yeah, this.
So I looked
yeah.
at a sheet of
Yeah,
250
some,
deals.
yes, yeah, I admit that. I tried many
Yes.
times,
Yeah.
and that's true.
So yeah, there are some technical errors with
But
NIMS-MAC, which
sometimes, but if they don't work, then we go this way. If they
Yeah.
work, then we have
then yes,
at least
so
one
convey
step
that to
extra.
Nisha, and she will
Yeah, I
keep
will
them as
certainly.
and when she
Yeah.
goes along. Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Just it's
So-
almost like having it handy. If it's there, we can check the portal.
Yeah, exactly. Because then
yeah.
then we can get at least the planning. How to say
Link.
organization and
Yeah,
architect
no, of course,
bureau or something.
it makes
So
sense.
we can
It makes sense.
speak to them as well.
Yeah. That's fine. No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Any other questions?
Not so far. I have to go to the field and then I will have questions.
No
Okay.
problem at all. Moro, any questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, Jack, just a couple, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the Jack, on my development deals, I have the Ancaster Accident Repair Center. I know exactly what that is. Next to me, I went to speak to them. It was just a mechanic that was there. He said, I don't know if the guy wants to sell or not. I don't know if the guy I said, we're not looking for selling. We just want to speak to the landlord because there's a lot of potential with this facilities. And the guy said, look, I'm just a mechanic. I don't know. So I put the notes, Jack. I might have to go back and just
Did you ask him for the landlord's number?
I did, and he didn't give it to me. He said, I'm not allowed. He goes, I'm not allowed. No. Yeah.
No, that's fine. So just say, can I take your number? And if you can convey this message to the landlord.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, remember, when you are in a location, your aim is to take control of the situation. If they don't give you the landlord's number, which is fine, you take their number and say, if you can just convey this message to the landlord, it would really, really help me out. Okay? And then if the landlord says he wants to speak with me, then you can put us in touch.
Got it. Okay, I'll go back there.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one, Jack, on the block leads. When I go there, Jack, do you want me to do anything? Because on the Monk's Farm place, I went there, and it's just a block of flats.
Yeah, so here is the tricky bit that you need to be aware of.
Okay.
Check the status of the block leads. If it says pending,
right,
and it's only been, let's say, 3 months or 5 months or 7 months or 6 months that they applied, it says submission date on the sheets. Okay.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So if it says pending, then okay, see, you got to look at the timeline. Okay, so you can work out yourself. Okay. It takes anywhere between 3 months to occasionally 12 months for a planning permission to go through. 3 months if you're extremely lucky. 6 months is about an average, and if you're very unlucky, it can take 12 months or more. Okay. So if the submission date is, let's say, 6 months, then approach, find out what's happening, or maybe check the status of the deal again. Okay. Has it been approved? If something was approved, let's say granted, it says granted. If it says granted 6 months ago, then there are high chances that either it is already built or getting built. These are all good timelines to approach the landlord.
Got it. Okay.
It's a bad market to sell. It's going to remain like this for the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
At least 4 years. So I will not be surprised. You walk into a developer, and the guy has already structured his company according to holding on to the development rather than selling it.
Right. Okay.
Like that would be a normal thing. Okay. So when you walk in, they're already probably being approached by other companies, or you could be the first one. And if you're the first one, then that's a good point to be at. Okay. So just be aware of the timeline of the planning process. That 3 months, if they're extremely lucky, they get the permission. Is 6 months is normal, and 12 months or more, they're extremely unlucky and they're still sitting on a pending application.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So on the ground,
And playing with that from the submission date,
yeah.
you can decide if you should be approaching them or not.
Okay, Jack. So based on that, Jack, in that case, there's a Meridian Point in Deptford, which is a little close to me. It was granted, Jack, on because it says submission date. Submission date was the 15th of August. Decision date was the 10th of October. That's the based on what you're saying,
It's a
Jack.
fantastic point to approach them. They likely have laid the foundation. They're starting, or they might have already built a few units. How many units is that?
This one, Jack, is 28.
Oh yeah, so 28 units can be done in under 12 months. This thing should be ready sometimes middle or later part of the year.
Okay. So we're good idea to approach them now.
Yes.
Okay,
That's a good point to approach. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, Jack, just go there, speak to whoever's there, the builders or where it is, and just say, "Can I speak to the landlord or the owner?"
Yes.
Okay.
Landlord or developer.
Or
They can be two.
Gotcha.
Sometimes they can be two different people,
Sometimes
depending
they're
on
one and the
how
same.
a deal is structured.
Yeah.
It could be a different decision maker.
Okay. And obviously, once I get to the developer, say
Yeah.
I'm part of PEN, a property management network. We're looking to because I saw your what do you call it? Your pitch. I remember your pitch.
Yeah.
So just follow that, and then that's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Like I said, all you got to do is just build some rapport, get them to know you, you get to know them, and what is it that they want from the state? Okay. Keep it subtle, keep it easy. That's all.
Keep it simple. Yeah. And just final one, Jack. On the hotels one, Jack. Same thing. So I just go in there. If I find a receptionist, you ask, is the owner available? Is the owner here? If not, he said you leave the postcard. You said.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me share something interesting with you guys so you can see through. Okay. Some of you may already know this. Okay. So my son spilled hot tea on his face 2 years ago. Okay. He was in hospital for straight 7 days. He had an operation. He wasn't allowed to come out in sun for straight 24 months. And 24 months end now, this month. I had 4 hotels under me. Overnight, we decided I am not going to manage anything. Okay? Everything was given out. I sold one of them. I gave the management of 2 to someone else, and we leased out another one. This happens all the time with people. Health, well-being, they're just annoyed with their wife, they're annoyed with their family members. There's differences in future management of a hotel, and there's maybe 4 people involved. Maybe the dad owns a part of it. Maybe it's a part of a trust. There can be a million reasons. I can sit here, I promise you guys, I can list you uncountable reasons for someone to say, I've had enough. Okay? One, I just gave it to you in my own life. Okay, like literally, it was an overnight decision. I have to give the management of all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I was literally, guys, making in cash £1,000 a day in net profit. That's cash, net profit in our pocket. Okay. I gave that up. There are people out there who are making 10 grand a day managing blocks and hotels. But they all get to a point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Or something goes wrong in the life, and depending on how they've structured. Unfortunately for them, and fortunately for us, is that most people still don't understand that you're not supposed to be, if you want to scale and you don't want to get exhausted, you do not manage the hotel.
Yeah, you pay for it. Yeah, you outsource.
You get someone else to manage it. However, you just oversee it. Okay? Most hoteliers still don't understand that. I can assure you, I walked into a hotel of 108 rooms, and the guy still manages it himself. He's sitting on the chair, he's still dealing with all the systems and emails, and I'm thinking, that's not very smart. He's smart because he's built a 108 rooms hotel, but he's not smart enough to say, now is not the time for me to manage. Now is someone else to manage and for me to scale.
Yeah.
Okay? So just be aware of these tiny, intricate details that matter. The deal sits in the smaller details of when you discuss with them. If you can pick up those smaller details, I can walk in, and if I can get the person to open up and talk to me for like 5 or 10 minutes, I can tell you immediately if there's a deal or not. Because the answers they're going to give you on the open questions, there's going to be very small indications or clues about if that's a deal or not.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah. No.
Stop. Any other questions, please?
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Jack, mine is quick. It's just based on hotels again. Jack, do you recommend? I know you were talking about once a hotel is more than 100 rooms, it's a different ball game. You know, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. So, right. So basically, Jack, recommendation is go for the 30 units, 40 units first. Go for those ones. Get them out of the way. Once they get 1 or 2, then focus on the other ones. Would you say that, Jack?
Not really. No.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that anything more than 100 rooms is more tricky to negotiate.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not a deal. All I'm saying is it's more tricky to negotiate.
Okay.
Because when you sit with that hotelier, unless that person is tired beyond a certain limit, you're not going to get that deal.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
That person has to be tired beyond that limit of, okay, I do not even want to answer one call. Mm-hmm. I do not want to even answer one email.
Right. Okay.
She has to be tired beyond that limit.
Got it.
Okay. If they're not tired beyond that limit, they can just put 1, 2 managers, manage it from sitting anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, there are very good systems in place these days for anyone to just set them up and disappear.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, you put 1 manager, 2 managers, 1 part-time, 1 full-time, or 2 full-time and 2 part-time, depending on the size of the deal, and then just disappear and just think in your head, I'm not going to make $500,000. I'm probably going to make 300 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just, like I said, it's the intricate details that would matter.
Yeah. No,
okay?
I hear you.
But don't hesitate approaching. For sure, no.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, for me, I'm good. I think Nara had some questions.
Yes. Jack, when you spoke to Damir, you mentioned Damir mentioned we are not going at first to approach branded hotels. Yes.
I wouldn't bother. If it's when you say branded, you mean to say franchise.
Franchised, yeah.
So depends on what kind of franchise it is. If let's say the franchise owns the hotel, there's absolutely no deal there. Okay? Or if the franchise is individual, as in an individual has taken on a franchise of a hotel and he owns it, then there's a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if the franchise themselves own the hotel, there's no deal. They're a conglomerate.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They don't need you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank
you. Emma, sir, any questions?
No, I think all clear. All good.
I'm going to leave you to it. It literally is a game of approaching and negotiating. I'm going to do 1 session, just purely negotiation. Just negotiating, okay? But we can only do that when we have a spreadsheet in front of us. So what I'll do is I will integrate in that session appraisals of blocks and hotels, okay, because they're easy to do. We'll bring them and then we'll do them. And then we'll do another session for negotiation for planning deals, okay? Because it's really just different game altogether. Negotiating a block and a hotel, very similar, but when you're negotiating a development deal, it's literally, the whole negotiation is different.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Good stuff. So I'll do 2 separate sessions for that, one for blocks and hotels and one for planning and deals, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah,
and then I'll
thank
do
you.
one more session, which will be based on the 130 steps of due diligence on a planning deal. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll show you the spreadsheet, and then we'll go through it one by one. Even I don't know the whole 130. I have 130 steps. Even I don't know the whole 130. I still need a planner with me. I still need an architect with me. I still need other consultants with me. I'd probably be able to do more than 50%, but nowhere close to all the 130. Okay. Good stuff. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very
Take
much.
care. Take care. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.